Wagwan, we're back again. Back again with the next video. Um, Yesterday I made the video telling the fans to stop drinking the Kool Aid, and this is kind of like just continuing in that narrative, but we're gonna talk about the schedule from last season to this season because when people are saying like okay there's been improvement, what they point to is oh we went from 6 wins to 8 wins, right? We were 6-7, and this season we're 8-3, right? Well, first of all, we played 13 games last season, right? And this season we only played 11, so that's 2 less games. But when people are saying we improved, I actually do not see improvement, right? Because if you dissect both schedules from last season to this season, you really cannot point out anything like that that's tangible that we improved on, right? Because if you play a bunch of close games, right, you can win them or you can lose them. Last season we lost a bunch of close games. This season we won a bunch of close games, right? Now, last season we didn't have any opponent with the caliber of Clemson on the schedule, or even North Carolina, right? I think the best team we played was Virginia, and we beat them 17-9. Right? They finished 9-3, right? But the reason why I'm gonna look at it and think last season is even worse. I mean, this season is even worse than last season. Is the fact that last season we had a quarterback roulette going on, right? Williams started the season, Jaren, and then he bombed out against Virginia Tech, and then it was Perry, and then Perry for a while, and then he went back to Williams, right? That's how our season unfolded, right? So in each game, we were like even at best, and more often than not worse at quarterback than the other team, right? But this season we had a settled quarterback. We had a great college quarterback, right? Even the games where the other team had the better quarterback, the Clemson game and the North Carolina game, those quarterbacks are not so much better than our quarterback that we didn't have a chance in those games from that standpoint, right? And so I consider that to be worse, right? So last season, we lost to Florida 24-20 in the opener. We lost to North Carolina 28-25, giving up 4th and 17 to end the game. And then we lost to Virginia Tech at home 42-35, and that was a game where they jumped out to a big lead and we came back, tied the game up, and they won the game, right? And we also lost to Georgia Tech, who finished with 2 wins. I think if I didn't look at their schedule, but I think they finished with 2 wins. And of course, we lost to FIU, Duke, and Louisiana Tech to finish the season, right? So if you look at it, if we turn around any of these close games, FIU, that should have been a certified win. North Carolina, that should have been a certified win because we had the game in our hands. So right there, that's 2 wins to make it 8-4, 8-5 instead of 6-7, right? And there were other games like the Virginia Tech game, the Georgia Tech game. We were at home. There's no way we should have lost that game as well, right? So 8 wins, 9 wins was nothing that should have been difficult in that season and could have been done in that season based on how we performed, right? Because the games were close. But when you bring it up to this season, right, the current season that just finished, right, the same thing remains where we're struggling to beat teams. And if I remember, during the stretch of Pittsburgh, Virginia, North Carolina State, I think all those teams had like their backup quarterbacks in the game. Not only was King better than their starting quarterback, he was playing against their backup quarterbacks. And those games are dogfights, right? And we have a great college quarterback on our team, right? So when you look at it forget the wins, forget the 6-8 wins, just the performance, they're the same as last season. They're the same as last season. Struggling to beat teams that are average, and then beating teams that are really bad like FSU, and then back to Al Golden specialty, getting absolutely demolished by Clemson, and the worst loss I've watched to North Carolina, right? Giving up 800 yards, right? And then the Oklahoma State game, that's the Virginia Tech game from last season. Giving them a big old lead, fighting back, and then losing. That's not improvement. That's the same thing, right? And what this reminds me of, is Al Golden. First season, 6-6. Second season, 7-5. Third season, he went 9-4. And remember, the 9-4 season was the season we started 7-0, top 10, right? Number 7. Played FSU, got demolished, 44-14, right? They go on to win the title. We go on to play Louisville in the Champs Bowl or whatever they called it, right, in Orlando. Got absolutely demolished and embarrassed, throat slashed, upside down U, right? And after that game, what Al Golden was telling you, right? Yeah, and I used to listen to WQAM after the games, the post game reactions, and Dan Bailey would come on and be like, well, coach, this a tough loss, but you gotta admire that you improve the win total every season from 6 to 7 to 9, and that's what they used to use. Politics, Kool Aid, right? It's the same thing. Oh, we improved from 6 to 7 to 8-3. Oh, you improved from 6 to 7 to 9 wins. Piled up wins against garbage teams, struggled with average teams, destroyed by good teams. Where's the difference? Show me. There's no difference, right? There's no difference. And another thing that is pulling the wool over people's eyes with many, right? Al Golden was fighting against probably FSU best team. That's what he was fighting against. FSU best team of all time. That team was probably better than all the other team that they ever had, right? And that FSU team went undefeated. They went to the playoffs. They were playing in BCS bowl games. And so, not only were we miserable from watching our own games, we have to also watch FSU on TV celebrating, right? So that made the fans more mad. But now they're lulling themselves into a false sense of security because FSU is absolutely dog shit, right? And we have a chance right now with the right coaching staff to step on FSU neck, to step on Florida, to step on every team in Florida. We were bad, and we had the best record of any team in the state. Right? When FSU was on top in those period of time, they were top 5 classes they were getting. They were demolishing recruiting. But us, we're getting like number 11, number 10 class, which we got under Al Golden. Right? So when people using this, we went from 6 to 8 wins, it's the same schedule. It's the same thing. You flip a couple of those close games in a bad way for this season, and we got 6 wins. Flip a couple of those close games from last season in a good way, and we got 8 wins. We got 9 wins. That's not improvement. Your overall performance is what matters, right? The game flow, your game control. If we destroy a team, put up 500 yards on them, drive the ball 6 times down into the goal line, right? And 3 times you fumble the ball, and 3 times you throw a pick, and you lose the game, 17-10 or 14-10 or whatever. I'm not gonna call for the coach's head. I'm gonna say that's the player's fault, right? The coach give them the tools to move the ball against the opponent, right? And that's either like bad luck or just like careless ball security by our players. But when you play against teams and you cannot run the ball against Virginia, you cannot run the ball against Pittsburgh, you cannot run the ball against NC State. Teams with like average players, most of them, Pittsburgh got like a good statistical defense, but they're not a defense to be feared. They're not the 80s Bears or whatever you call them, right? And, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Like, this is not improvement. It's not. And of course, we end the season. We're losing 2 games in a row. Destroyed in one, about to be destroyed in one, in the other one, and came back, and surely enough, we end up losing. Right? And like I said, the best thing going for Manny is because is that FSU is garbage right now. Yeah? And then there's also fans, some people, saying, oh, what you want us to do? March down there and commit violence against the people in the Hex Center and all this kind of stuff. Like, nobody's saying violence or anything like that. And then they say, well, you're just talking. You're just a fan on a website talking or YouTube or whatever it is. And you're like, what they're trying to tell you is you should shut up because there's nothing you can do, right? That's what politicians tell you as well, right? When they steal the campaign money, right? First thing they tell you is, oh, it's not a big deal. This is not like killing somebody, right? That's the first thing they tell you. And then the second thing, the other people that support this politician will tell you, it's not like you can march into Congress and fire them, right? So what you got is your outrage. So they want you to not even do that. So they can keep on doing what they're doing that's not right. And remember, even the Miami media was getting on the fans' back when we were like flying the planes to get rid of Al Golden with 1,000 people sitting in the seats. They were mad about that. They were mad about that. They wanted you to sit there and support Al Golden blindly while he continued to get demolished by bad teams, by good teams, and struggling with bad teams. Right? That's what they want you to do. They don't want you to be, but you don't have to accept it. You do not have to accept it. Right? They give you meaningless plaudits, meaningless stats, and say, oh, this is improvement. Oh, you went from 6 to 8 wins. The performances are the same. That's what matters. How you perform throughout the game, throughout the season. Right? Not squeaking by Virginia 19-14. Or North Carolina State 44-41, giving up 41 points on your so-called great defense. Not having a chance against Clemson. Not having a chance against North Carolina. Right? And digging yourself a big pit against Oklahoma State. Right? How many games have we seen Manny Diaz him come out, right? Specialist defense guy. And the team drives down the field the first 3 drives, or first 2 drives, and they're up 14-0. How many games do we see that where they look like they're absolutely clueless for over a quarter? Absolutely clueless. Like, these men are not enforcing third downs. It's like first down, second down, first down. It's not even getting the third down touchdown. Right? And like I said, I don't see them making any changes on the defensive side of the ball. I don't see them making any changes at all. So this is just letting you know, okay? When they come back and tell you that, oh, they just need to get better players and all this kind of stuff, and they bring back the same coaching staff to coach the kids into bad habits, then that's when the Kool Aid drinking is going to go into overdrive. That's what you're going to face in this offseason. But if you do the same thing over and over and think there's going to be a different result, you're going to go crazy. This man is Al Golden.